They called her the Stain, an ugly blemish on her father's fortune. When this girl, scorned in her own world for her appearance, was gifted by her father to the wisest chief of a tribe as the price of a deal, everyone thought it would be the end of her. But that wise chief would not see the stain everyone else looked at. He would hear the unique melody of her soul that no one else could. This is the story of how even the most brutal prejudices crumbled to dust before the power of true love. In a port town where the harsh winds of trade blew across East Africa, Clara's life was lived in the shadow of a large birthmark on her face. Her father, Bartholomew, was a man who had grown rich from the ivory and spice trade, measuring everything in terms of profit and loss. While other merchants married their daughters to the sons of influential families to multiply their fortunes, for Bartholomew, Clara was an unmarriageable, shameful loss. At every ball, every party in town, the mark on Clara's face became the target of whispers and contemptuous glances. The merchant's cursed daughter, they would say. This is why Clara hid from people in her father's library, studying maps and reading everything she could about the languages and traditions of different tribes. Everything changed the day the wise Chief Kari came to town. Kari was a legendary leader who brought peace to the region, but also reined in the greed of the colonialists, carrying the serenity of a sage and the strength of a warrior behind his aged eyes. Bartholomew was pursuing a profitable deal with Chief Kari for the passage rights of his caravans. During the negotiation, Kari noticed an old map in Bartholomew's library. This map showed secret water sources, forgotten by the tribes, that could save lives during times of drought. Kari wanted this map. Bartholomew saw the opportunity of a lifetime. In exchange for the map, he said slyly, I will give you an intelligent scribe who can read maps, learn your language, and keep the tribe's records. My daughter, Clara. This was not a father's offer, but a merchant's trade. He was using Clara to get rid of her, and in return, forge an alliance with the most powerful leader in the region. Kari looked at Clara, but he, unlike the others, did not see the mark on her face. He saw her kindness as she helped a servant gently pick up a book that had fallen in the library, and he saw the spark of intelligence in her eyes. He accepted the deal. Clara's journey to the tribe was silent and tense. The tribe's village was like a paradise, hidden among the mountains, living in harmony with nature. However, for Clara, the gates of this paradise were closed. The women of the tribe looked at her as a stranger, a stained white woman. In particular, Nia, the beautiful daughter of Chief Kari's most trusted warrior, saw Clara as a threat from the very first moment. Nia had long expected to be Kari's next wife, and the arrival of this foreigner had disrupted her plans. Chief Kari treated Clara with respect. He did not treat her like a captive, but like a guest with an important task. He gave her a large tent where the tribe's history and treaties were kept and said, "This is yours. You will be our memory." Clara's duty was to put the tribe's oral history, their agreements, and their maps onto paper. For the first time in her life, someone valued her intelligence and knowledge. This was an honor her father had never given her. Clara threw herself into her work. She listened to the elders' legends for nights on end, redrew caravan routes, and organized the tribe's trade records. But Nia's jealousy, like a poisonous vine, was wrapping itself around everything. Nia was determined to make Clara fail. She prevented Clara from communicating with the other women, spread rumors about her, and sought opportunities to humiliate her. One day, she accidentally spilled water on one of Clara's most important maps. The map was ruined. Nia complained to the chief, saying it was Clara's incompetence and that she was not worthy of this task. All eyes turned to Clara. She was facing her first test in this new world, and if she lost this test, her future here would be erased like a map dropped in water. Chief Kari looked at the ruined map and at Nia's accusing gaze. Then he calmly turned to Clara. "This map," he said, "is now useless." A triumphant smile appeared on Nia's face, but Kari continued, "Because Clara's mind is a far more reliable map than this piece of paper." Everyone was in shock. Turning to Clara, Kari said, "Draw that route for us from your memory, Clara." Without a moment's hesitation, Clara took a new piece of parchment and redrew the map she had been studying for days, down to the finest detail, even adding a forgotten path in the section the water had damaged. This not only foiled Nia's plan, but also demonstrated to everyone just how valuable Clara was. After this incident, the relationship between Kari and Clara deepened. In the evenings by the fire, they didn't just talk about work. They conversed about the stars, philosophy, and the dreams of two different worlds. Kari had long forgotten the mark on Clara's face. He now saw only the depth of her soul and the brilliance of her intellect. This closeness fueled Nia's hatred even more. If she couldn't humiliate Clara, then she would destroy her. Nia's new plan was devilish. She would steal one of the tribe's most sacred relics, the Moonstone, which was believed to have healing powers. This stone was a relic that only the chief and the head shaman could touch. Nia planned to steal the stone and hide it among Clara's belongings, framing her not just as a thief, but also as a witch who had insulted the spirits of the tribe. The punishment for this crime was death, and this time not even Chief Kari could save her. On a dark night, Nia snuck into the sacred tent without anyone's knowledge. She stole the Moonstone and began to wait for the right moment. A storm, much darker and more deadly than the last, was approaching the tribe. The news of the sacred Moonstone's disappearance spread through the tribe like a wildfire. This was not just a theft. It was a terrible insult to the spirits of their ancestors and was considered a bad omen. Nia fell at Chief Kari's feet, shedding crocodile tears. At night, she sobbed, I saw Clara wandering around her tent. She was heading towards the sacred tent, but I was too afraid to say anything. All the anger and suspicion immediately turned towards Clara, the only foreigner in the tribe. When the warriors searched Clara's tent, they found the Moonstone, expertly placed by Nia among her personal belongings, tucked between the pages of the old book from her mother. The tribe was in an uproar. Clara was dragged before Chief Kari and the Council of Elders. The evidence was against her. Nia's father, a senior warrior, roared, "This woman is trying to sell us to dark spirits, just as her father sold her. The price for this insult is blood." Chief Kari was facing the most difficult moment of his life. His heart screamed that Clara was innocent. He was certain that such an intelligent, honorable woman would not commit such a foolish and disrespectful crime. He could not go against the traditions and beliefs of his people. But as a chief, the proof was there, and the tribe's fury was too great to be appeased. If he tried to protect Clara, he would endanger his own authority. He stood up, showing no emotion on his face. His voice echoed across the entire square. "According to our traditions, crimes against the spirits are judged by the spirits themselves," he said. "Tomorrow at dawn, Clara will be left alone in the Silent Valley. If the spirits find her innocent, the valley will protect her and allow her to return at sunset. If she is guilty, the spirits of the valley will take her life." This was an ancient and brutal trial by fate ritual. The Silent Valley was a cursed place, known for its venomous snakes and unpredictable sandstorms, a place where no one could survive alone for even a day. Kari had, in effect, sentenced Clara to death. But with this decision, he had calmed the anger of his people who did not believe her, and most importantly, had bought her a day to survive. A triumphant smile was on Nia's face. She was certain that Clara would never return from that valley. As Clara was being led to the valley, she looked into Chief Kari's eyes one last time. There, she saw not a cold chief, but a helpless man. She understood that Kari was trying to buy her time, but what good was time in this cursed valley? When she was left alone in the valley, she felt a strange calm instead of fear. She remembered from the old texts she had read in the library that this valley was not actually cursed. It was simply a place where the spirit winds, forgotten by the tribe, blew. These winds whispered to those who were in the right place at the right time, guiding them. Instead of panicking, Clara focused her mind on the long conversations she had with Chief Kari by the fire. Kari had told her how their ancestors used this valley as a refuge, how they listened to the sound of the wind. Clara began to follow the faint signs scattered throughout the valley, the ancient carvings on the rocks. This was not a physical journey, but a mental puzzle. Meanwhile, Kari was not idle. He had not believed for a second that Clara was left to her fate. He knew Nia was behind this. He went to the oldest and wisest woman in the village, the chief's mother, and told her his suspicions. Nia's ambition is greater than her beauty, the old woman said, but she has one weak point: arrogance. Kari summoned Nia to his tent and offered her a false victory. Clara is gone, he said. The tribe is now at peace. A loyal and beautiful woman like you deserves to be the queen of this tribe soon. Nia, succumbing to her arrogance at these words, celebrated her victory by boasting to her closest friends about how she had stolen the moonstone and framed Clara. But there was something she didn't know. The chief's mother had arranged for those friends to be overheard by witnesses in the very next tent. The betrayal was revealed by Nia's own arrogance. Meanwhile, in the heart of the valley, Clara reached a secret cave where the wind had guided her. Inside the cave were carvings left by the tribe's founding ancestors, explaining the true purpose of the moonstone. The stone was a tool for healing, and it would only reveal its power in the hands of someone with a pure spirit. Clara despaired when she realized she hadn't brought the stone, but then she felt something hard in her pocket. The white shining stone she had picked up from the riverbank while drawing the map. It was the exact same shape as the one in the carving. As the sun set, the people of the tribe had gathered at the entrance of the silent valley. Everyone was waiting for Clara's death. Nia stood at the very front, savoring her victory with a fake expression of mourning on her face. Just then, a silhouette appeared from the depths of the valley. Clara was walking towards them, tired but standing tall. In her hand, she held a white stone they had never seen before, glowing as if illuminated from within. The people of the tribe stepped back, thinking it was a miracle. "The spirits have made their decision," Clara shouted, her voice echoing in the valley, "and they have shown me the truth." Clara explained the truth she had learned in the cave. She told them that the moonstone was actually a fake copy, replaced with this white stone generations ago, and that the real stone would only shine in the hands of someone in need with a pure spirit. The stone Nia had stolen was a worthless imitation. At that moment, the chief's mother stepped forward and announced to the whole tribe how Nia had betrayed them, confessing her deed while boasting. Nia's trap had collapsed upon her own arrogance. The hatred of the people instantly turned towards Nia. As they moved forward to lynch her, Clara stepped between them. "Stop," she said. "Her punishment is not death, but to face her own ignorance. Like me, let her find her own truth alone in the desert." This incredible mercy sealed Clara's place in the tribe forever. She was no longer just a scribe, but a wise leader chosen by the spirits. That night, Chief Kari came to Clara's side. "You have taught me," he said, "not only about my tribe, but also about how a chief should be. My eyes saw the stain, but you taught me to see the soul." Kari knelt before her and, in front of his people, asked her not only to be his wife, but his partner, his queen. Years later, the tribe under the joint leadership of Clara and Kari had become a haven of peace and prosperity, wisely governed. One day, a messenger came from her father, Bartholomew. The merchant had gone bankrupt, lost everything, and as a last resort, had come to seek help from this tribe, now famous for its wise queen. When he stood before the daughter who now wore the mark on her face like a crown of honor, he understood the greatest mistake of his life. Clara showed him mercy, but on one condition: her father would spend the rest of his life teaching the children of the tribe to read, write, and the fair ways of trade. The stain her father had despised had actually become Clara's greatest strength, because that stain had taught her to see the true worth behind people's appearances.